Tonight, looking under the hood of an alleged tow truck theft operation.
It looked like someone had dropped a steel beam right down the middle of it.
What court documents say about how it worked and who was responsible. Also tonight, drawn out detour.
Don't have the traffic going by. It's a little bit of an impact.
Will the Louise Bridge reopen as expected after being pushed back for another month? Plus,
housing is one of the most urgent challenges facing our city.
How many new units are expected to become available as the city unveils development plans for several properties?
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. New details tonight into a rash of vehicle thefts in Winnipeg using tow trucks. It's a story we first showed you here on CTV News, and now we've obtained court documents which reveal who authorities believe is behind these thefts and how the scheme allegedly worked. CTV's Harrison Shin has the details.
It was shocking to see the van. It was completely crushed.
Transcona's TSL was wondering what happened to her van after it was stolen by a tow truck on July 15th. Now she knows.
The roof was on the floor. It looked like someone had dropped a steel beam right down the middle of it.
Court documents are now revealing who is alleged to be behind the theft of her van and 8 others, all stolen by tow truck between July 2nd until 14th. The statement of claim filed by the Director of Criminal Property Forfeiture alleges Corey Finkarik, owner of Winnipeg Auto Recycling and employees, stole vehicles, damaged them, and then sold them for scrap, bringing in $40,000. Now, his assets, including 2 tow trucks, bank accounts, and real estate, are being seized. A person answering the phone at Winnipeg Auto Recycling declined an interview and would not give their name. Winnipeg police said Wednesday 2 people were arrested in the case. Jason Schritt's truck was stolen in the same way on July 11th. His truck was also demolished.
I asked him if I could come and identify my vehicle or anything like that, and he just said it was unidentifiable because it was crushed and scrapped.
For Sawa, the question of why keep lingering.
Just the frustration, why did this happen? And the sadness, because it was an awesome van. It was our van. And I didn't think that anyone else would want it, so.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Transportation Safety Board of Canada is investigating a deadly small plane crash east of Winnipeg. It happened in Dugald. The agency released few details, but says the crash Saturday morning involved a privately registered Quad City Challenger 2 ultralight aircraft. RCMP later confirmed in a news release its officers responded to a small, single-engine, 2-seat aircraft crash around 11 a.m. and a man's body was recovered at the scene. Police say he was the only one in the plane at the time. Well, if your commute includes the Louise Bridge, prepare to use alternate routes for a while longer. The bridge was closed to traffic in May for annual repairs and was supposed to reopen in just a few days at the end of this month. But tonight, we're learning the city is extending the shutdown of the 114-year-old bridge into early September. Live at that bridge tonight with the latest is CTV's Jeff Keel. So, Jeff, why this delay?
Yeah, take a look behind me, Marilee. You can see on the bridge where crews have been doing work. And they were doing this corrosion repair work when they realized there were other spots that also needed to be fixed. Auto Approved is open for business, unlike the Louise Bridge around the corner.
We get a lot of customers driving over Louise Bridge from downtown and going back to downtown.
Owner Andrew Snow estimates he's selling 5 to 6 fewer vehicles per month because of the disruption.
The impulse shopper driving by, sees the cars, want to have a look, but now you don't have the traffic going by.
In late May, the 114-year-old bridge was closed for annual maintenance. The work was set to be done by the end of July, but now it won't reopen until early September.
Another month of less business, so it does impact us.
The city says as it was completing corrosion repairs, they discovered 2 additional areas that required attention.
It took some additional time for us to complete the design and retain a contractor to perform the repairs.
Winnipeg has another century-plus-old bridge that's closed, Arlington, but that one shut down permanently in 2023 for structural issues after years of patch jobs. The city is confident the same thing won't happen at Louise before a $40 million upgrade gets going in 2029.
Nothing that we've identified so far has indicated that there would need to be an extended closure until the rehabilitation can be completed.
We want to prevent the Louise Bridge from turning into an Arlington Street Bridge, and that's why we closed it to do the repair work necessary.
And while that repair work is being done on the Louise Bridge, the mayor is thanking drivers for their patience. Some have less than others.
We're traveling all over the place just to get somewhere.
They should have just changed it already. Got a new one.
Doesn't affect me that much, actually. I usually just head this way.
I don't go that way, so I don't really care.
Cyclists and pedestrians are still allowed to cross the bridge, and we've actually seen quite a number doing just that today.
All right, Jeff, what can drivers do to lessen the impact of the bridge closure during rush hour in particular?
Well, the city says obviously maybe try to take alternate routes like Disraeli or Provincial and give yourself more time before you go out for that commute.
Take a deep breath. Okay, thanks, Jeff. Well, the province is warning of a handful of potential measles exposures, this time in Winnipeg. They all happened July 21st, which was last Monday. The Child and Family Services office on Jarvis Avenue was one of the spots. There, it happened between 10:45 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. La Grata Mediterranean Market on Taylor Avenue from 11:30 a.m. to 1:45 p.m. was another spot. West Coast Kids on Kenaston Boulevard from 11:55 a.m. to 2:25 p.m. and then HomeSense on Kenaston from 12:30 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. Anyone who was in those locations during those times is advised to make sure they're up to date on their measles vaccines and monitor for symptoms for about 3 weeks. Fire crews are still working to contain wildfires near some northern Manitoba communities. An update from the city of Thompson Sunday says Manitoba wildfire service teams are working on the north flank of fire NO061, which is the closest to Thompson. Helicopters are providing water bucket support. Crews will work on the southern flank when work on the north side wraps up. According to the update, 2 new fires started in the north Saturday, but crews are confident they can contain them. The town of Leaf Rapids says a roving fire engine continues to extinguish hot spots in that community. Fuel is again available for vehicles and generators as the co-op card lock is operating again. Further reports from Leaf Rapids say the fire moved easterly again with the winds and crossed the highway at the north end of the airport. 5 dozers continue to create dozer lines. And an update from Canada Post for those affected by wildfires. It says people from Island Lake, Leaf Rapids and Snow Lake can pick up their mail at the post office on Graham Avenue here in Winnipeg. Mail for Lynn Lake residents is available at the office on Douglas Street in Brandon. And those from Puckatawagan can find their mail at the post office on Fisher Avenue in the Paw. Also, Canada Post is extending its free mail forwarding service to residents of Island Lake and Snow Lake. You have until August 28th to register. Well, it's the next step towards building new affordable housing units in Winnipeg. Today, the city announced the development of 5 properties on city-owned land. The housing projects are slated for Taché Avenue, Osborne Street, Pembina Highway, and 2 on Watt Street.
Housing is one of the most urgent challenges facing our city.
Taché Avenue will see the development of a 65-unit apartment building with on-site disability support services. The block will offer support for up to 20 people with physical disabilities. The organization leading the development says the project will help adults with disabilities who don't meet the criteria for provincial services.
We started to dream about building such a place. An intentional, accessible, affordable, and inclusive living environment where people with physical disabilities could create natural and meaningful connections that would alleviate loneliness and isolation and support their overall well-being.
The developments will create almost 700 new units. More than 270 will be affordable units. Construction will start within 1 year. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. We had an update on some of those wildfires wreaking havoc across the province, and you can definitely not forget about them today because there's a lot of smoke in the air.
Yeah, not just in northern and central parts of the province. It has returned to the south, and it's put much of the province under an air quality warning tonight. Areas right along the international border had some non-severe thunderstorms make their way from west to east across the province. Now they're off into northwestern Ontario. You can see them passing through there quite heavily through Fort Frances right now. But as that rain has cleared out, now the smoke is moving back in, and if you are in those communities closer to the international border, that smoke should be moving in now. We're already starting to feel it here in Winnipeg. So Winnipeg, Brandon, all these areas lighting up in purple in Manitoba over the border into northern Ontario under that outright air quality warning tonight issued by Environment Canada. Further south, places like Kenora lighting up in orange under a special air quality statement. Still an important alert regarding the air quality. I'll have more details on why that smoke has made its way back into southern parts of the province and how long it looks like it's going to be sticking around coming up. But for now, let's take a look through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Yeah, you can clearly see that smoke. Well, I didn't. That's a bad pun. Smoke in the city now, merrily 24 degrees. Winds light out of the north-northeast at 6 kilometers an hour. An unintended pun, shall we say. Pressure's dropping and the humidity right now, well, that's 62%.
Thanks, Colleen. The Canada Border Services Agency says a Winnipegger was arrested and charged last month following a significant drug seizure at Calgary's airport. CBSA officers found 30 kilograms of meth inside a bag destined for Japan. The bag's owner had already boarded the flight, so officers entered the plane to make the arrest. An 18-year-old is facing drug trafficking and exporting prohibited goods charges. A branded man has been arrested and sent to Saskatchewan to face child pornography charges. Estevan police began investigating a complaint earlier this year, which ultimately led officers from Manitoba and Saskatchewan to search a home in Brandon. A 20-year-old man was arrested and remains in custody in Estevan. He's charged with creating child pornography, extortion, and uttering threats. Premier Wapkanu called a by-election Friday, which will test whether his NDP government's popularity can spread to a long-time PC stronghold. Voters in the Spruce Woods constituency will go to the polls August 26th. The Tories normally secure well above 60% of the vote in the area, but the New Democrats have been riding high in opinion polls and have made a series of spending announcements in and around Spruce Woods recently. The outcome won't affect the NDP majority in the legislature, where the party has 34 of the 57 seats to the Tories' 20. A religious monument has been reinstalled in Assiniboine Park. After an 8-year hiatus, the large stone engraved with the 10 Commandments is back on display for visitors to the park. And as CTV's Danton Unger reports, the decision comes after nearly a year of debate as to whether or not the park was the right home for it.
A biblical monument back in Assiniboine Park. These 10 Commandments have been at the center of some debate as Assiniboine Park Conservancy grappled over what to do with this religious monument. It was gifted to the city by the Fraternal Order of Eagles in 1965 and stood here in the park for more than 50 years. But when the Leaf was being constructed in 2017, the park put the monument in storage and last year asked the city to find a new home for it, saying at the time the Conservancy felt it could make the park feel less welcoming for some members in the community. This prompted some debate at the time amongst Winnipeggers and visitors to the park.
I think that's right. It wouldn't be as welcoming, no.
Well, I think if it's part of the history of the park, why not?
It's not offending anybody. Then put it up.
On Monday, a park spokesperson confirmed the monument had been reinstalled close to its original location, telling CTV News over the past year, working with the CAO's office, Assiniboine Park Conservancy consulted with stakeholders regarding future placement of the monument and ultimately agreed to reinstall it in the park. Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham says he's pleased with how it all turned out.
Basically, as a council, we directed our administration, our CAO, to work with the Assiniboine Park Conservancy and community members. They have done that, so they followed the process that council set out for them. So I'm pleased with that.
Park visitor Derek Anand says he's not bothered by the monument's return.
Basically, it doesn't have to be so tied to religion. I think it's something that is universal, that everyone can relate to.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Still to come tonight, the tariff clock is ticking down once again.
The negotiations are at an intense phase. It's a complex negotiation.
How Canada may be able to make the best of the ongoing trade dispute with the U.S. Plus, Calls from inside and outside Canada grow louder to support Palestinian statehood. More on that when we return. Taking a look at the markets, crude oil added $1.55. The loonie slipped to 72.87 cents U.S. Gold futures lost 25.60. The TSX fell 88 points. The Dow Jones was down 64 points, while the Nasdaq added 70. A 31-year-old woman is charged in the stabbing death of a woman in northern Manitoba. Thompson RCMP were called to a home last Thursday in the early morning hours. When they arrived, emergency medical services were treating an unresponsive female with a stab wound. A 34-year-old was declared dead at the scene. A 31-year-old woman is now charged with manslaughter. Mounties are continuing to investigate. Air Canada flight attendants begin a strike vote today as contract talks stall. The union's key issues include pay, unpaid work, per diems, and pensions. Voting is open until August 5th, which is next Tuesday. Air Canada says it's committed to bargaining and remains fully available to resume negotiations. A strike wouldn't be able to take place before a 21-day cooling-off period. The countdown is on as Canada seeks to reach a trade agreement with the United States, and the threat of tariffs as high as 50% are now just days away as Ottawa works to get a deal done. CTV's Abigail Bimman has more.
Canada's Prime Minister and the American President were both visiting islands and talking trade. Donald Trump in Scotland musing about baseline world tariffs.
I just want to be nice. I would say in the range of 15 to 20%.
The negotiations are at an intense phase. It's a complex negotiation.
While on Prince Edward Island, Mark Carney repeated in French that a deal with no tariffs is unlikely.
We're standing up for Canada, Canadian interests. Of course, the United States is looking out, the President's looking out for the interests of American workers. There is a landing zone that's possible, but we have to get there.
There appears to be a backing away from the tariff for tariff, elbows up sort of combative tone.
Former Foreign Affairs Minister Peter MacKay feels we may not get the kind of deal we want.
Donald Trump has really had his way with many countries, and they are coming to heel and rolling around like kittens on a couch.
While Ontario's premier still hopes Canada is treated differently.
A tariff on Canadians is a tax on Americans. Prices will go up.
It's not the kind of recession-inducing shock that 25% on literally everything would have been.
This University of Calgary economist says a 15% baseline tariff on non-CUSMA compliant goods would still be a net negative for the Canadian economy. But it's important to focus on the bigger picture, what happens with CUSMA down the line.
That's a much more important potential shock to the economy than a 15% baseline with an exemption for trade agreement compliant exports.
Trump's trade deal deadline is Friday, with the Prime Minister saying Canada is still engaged in negotiations. Mark Carney stressing Canada is also already a big investor in the United States as we watch other countries sign deals that require major financial commitments. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
More Liberal MPs are calling on Canada to officially recognize Palestinian statehood after French President Emmanuel Macron announced his country's plans to do so later this fall. It comes as the White House is taking a stronger stance on humanitarian conditions in Gaza, pushing back against Israel's assertion starvation isn't occurring. CTV's Colton Prail has the latest.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister says the idea of peace in the Middle East feels more distant and that a pathway to peace requires Palestinian statehood. But Canada doesn't appear to be any closer to recognizing it.
Je vous remercie.
At a special United Nations meeting focused on a two-state solution in the Middle East, Anita Anand reinforced the country's long-standing position.
Canada believes a two-state solution remains the only viable path to lasting peace for both Palestinians and Israelis.
When asked today whether Canada would join countries like France in plans to officially recognize a Palestinian state, the Prime Minister didn't directly answer the question. It comes as the Liberal leader is facing increasing calls to do so from members of his own party.
Finally taking the critical step towards realizing a two-state solution to peace in the Middle East, recognizing a free and independent state of Palestine.
Sunday, BC MP Will Greaves joining social media calls from fellow Liberal MPs Salma Zahid and Fares Al-Soud to recognize a Palestinian state. Meanwhile, as humanitarian aid trickles back into Gaza, Donald Trump is pushing back on the Israeli assertion that starvation was not occurring in the enclave.
Food, we can save a lot of people. I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it. And you can't fake that.
The Prime Minister says Canada has trucks of aid at the Jordanian border, pre-positioned to enter Gaza, but that had been prevented from doing so.
He added that he'll take steps to advance a two-state solution, but one that doesn't include any element of Hamas and Palestinian leadership. Colton Prale, CTV News, Ottawa.
To the war in Ukraine now, as President Trump says he's disappointed with Russian President Vladimir Putin. So much so, he's moved up a deadline for Russia in Ukraine.
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. No reason in waiting. There's no reason in waiting. It's 50 days. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made.
Trump had set a 50-day deadline earlier this month, but he's repeatedly expressed frustration with Putin for continuing his attacks on Ukraine. Trump is now threatening to impose further sanctions if no deal is reached with Russia. Thailand and Cambodia have agreed to a ceasefire after 5 days of border clashes.
This is a vital first step towards de-escalation and the restoration of peace and security.
Officials from both nations will meet to try and ease the tensions at the borders. The countries will also work to develop a detailed plan to maintain peace with help from Malaysia. Some spectators got quite the fright during an air show over a beach in Spain yesterday. Yeah, this video shows how one of Spain's fighter jets appears to fly directly towards a beach packed with people. The pilot then regained control and flew clear of the beachgoers. The dramatic maneuver has since gone viral on social media. Ottawa is reducing the tolls on the Confederation Bridge to PEI and on Atlantic ferry crossings. Starting Friday, fares drop to $20 on the Confederation Bridge for passenger vehicles. Business vehicles will also see a reduction in fares. The fares on Atlantic ferry crossings for travelers and businesses are also being cut. A Manitoba woman is about to embark on the trip of a lifetime around the globe.
For me, this is very much not my norm. I don't sail.
How the teacher from Oakville is preparing for an adventure on the high seas when we return.
Quite the sunny long-range forecast in store for Winnipeg, starting Wednesday up to 24 degrees. Sunshine continues into Thursday, 26, up a couple more to 28 by Friday in the sun, 27 and sunny on Saturday to start the weekend. Sunday, all models showing at least a chance of showers, maybe even a thunderstorm. Otherwise, a mix of sun and cloud with a high near 26.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A teacher from Manitoba is getting ready to set sail on the adventure of a lifetime. She's embarking on a round-the-world trip despite having almost no sailing experience. CTV's Carol Charles explains.
The crashing waves are a sign of things to come, but Ruby Thornton is not afraid of any challenge. Despite having no previous sailing experience, the 26-year-old teacher from Oakville is preparing to compete in the Clipper round-the-world yacht race.
I love traveling, and I think being on the open water has always been something that I've enjoyed.
The Clipper race is the only event of its kind which trains people from all walks of life to become ocean racers and take on endurance challenges. And get this, no experience needed, training provided.
I figured I'm a good listener, I'm a teacher, and I'm good at following instructions. So yeah, I figured why not?
Ruby has already had a taste of adventure, having enjoyed college trips to Guatemala and Africa. Now she has an opportunity to sail around the world with the help of her 19-person crew.
I've been on the boats with some skilled sailors, and they've all been very patient with me and willing to help me out when I'm completely lost.
She is currently teaching in the remote stretches of northern Manitoba, but is taking a career pause to participate in this 11-month challenge, which gets underway next month. Ruby and her race crew must complete 4 levels of Clipper race training before lining up to start the challenge.
It was very intense. It's a lot of information all at once. There was words just spilling out of my brain because I was learning so many terms and different parts of the boats that I had never understood what they did or their purpose before. I'm feeling a little bit more confident with that now.
And it's not an easy ride, but she has learned valuable skills during her 4 weeks of training.
I've learned the importance of tethering on, especially when it's windy and wavy. And I've also gotten very good at tying knots under pressure.
She admits she's nervous, but excited.
For me, this is very much not my norm. I don't sail, but after this I will. And again, it's going to be an adventure that I think of for the rest of my life, so I wanted that.
The race will make 14 stops on its global route, which include Cape Town, South Africa, Qingdao, China, Tongyong City in Korea, Seattle, USA, and Oban, Scotland announced so far.
The Clipper race gets underway from Portsmouth, United Kingdom on August 31st. Carol Charles, CTV News.
A local eatery is among the most desirable restaurants located in a Canadian hotel.
It was a very surprise honor.
Fort Garry Hotel's Oval Room Brasserie made Open Table and Kayak's top 50 hotel restaurants list. Diner Reviews noted the brasserie's ambiance, dishes, and service for the high reviews. The Oval Room is the only Manitoba restaurant on the list, which also includes dining options in Ontario, BC, Quebec, and the Maritimes.
A restaurant business and a hotel business is about a team, and it just shows that our team is doing a really good job.
Hotel owner Ida Albo says most of its customers are local, something also noted by Open Table, which found 61% of the hotel restaurant's diners are local residents. And this isn't the only award the hotel's restaurant won this month. Vida received a Wine Spectator Award of Excellence, one of only 17 in Canada.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
I'm just hearing John Travolta was dining there the other day as well, so.
I missed him by a day. I was there apparently the next evening.
And Colleen Brady.
Well,
you never know who you'll rub elbows with at that restaurant. So good food and good company.
It is a beautiful room. If you ever get the chance to go, please do go check it out. It's a lovely experience. And with that said, that's my commercial for the evening, folks. Otherwise, not so lovely is the experience outdoors. The smoke is returning to southern Manitoba. Basically what's happening, there's a ridge of high pressure building to the west over Saskatchewan. That's helping redirect the smoke that's coming into southern Manitoba. I almost said snow. It's not here yet. The smoke is, though. Other areas in central northern parts of the province, the smoke coming more from the wildfires that are burning in those communities, spreading into those regions. We did have that line of non-severe thunderstorms that moved across areas closer to the international border this afternoon in Manitoba. They're now pushing through places like Fort Frances. Lots of lightning firing off. A little bit of hail is being dropped out of the sky as well, but these are non-severe thunderstorms. We did get quite a soaking here in Winnipeg and other parts of the south over the weekend, primarily on Sunday. That's when the rain sure came down here in Winnipeg. At the Forks, Environment Canada says just over 39 millimeters fell. Contrast that with a little over 21 out at the airport. Barons River saw a sizable amount there, nearly 35 millimeters. Melita, Carmen, Warden also got several millimeters of rain. But now that that rain has moved on out, in comes the smoke again. We've got that smoke being redirected into the south, courtesy of that ridge of high pressure, at least for southern parts of the province. That now includes all of us. Over the course of the afternoon, Environment Canada kept expanding the air quality warning further south and east as well into northwestern Ontario, Kenora, Dryden, Fort Frances, lighting up in orange under a special air quality quality statement. So still an important air quality alert to be taken seriously. And then again, we have all those fires that continue to burn primarily further north, and that's where that smoke is coming from. That's affecting those areas through central northern parts of the province, still under that warning. Aside from that, a pretty dry night, that rain having passed through now for those areas further south. No rain really in sight too much for the northwest, perhaps a bit overnight for the northeast, but you can see pretty dry to start off the day on Tuesday. Another warm day, temperatures in the mid-20s across southern Manitoba, but it will be another smoky day across much of the province, including here in Winnipeg. Overnight we go into Wednesday, where it will be another sunny day and another warm one too, where temperatures get into the mid-20s. 14 our low tonight, partly cloudy but smoky, light winds not moving around that smoke. 16 tomorrow morning, mix of sun and cloud and smoky, and that's where conditions stay put throughout the day. 24 is the high. The UV index for tomorrow for Winnipeg is 8 or very high. We could see some rain, as I mentioned, tonight in parts of the northeast, but there'll be some smoke as well. 4 overnight for Thompson. Some more showers there for Thompson tomorrow, 18 degrees. Conversely, Churchill, mix of sun and clouds, 16. Smoke all across the northwest tonight. Daytime highs in the low 20s tomorrow, with more smoke in the southwest tonight. Widespread smoke, overnight lows between 8 and 11 degrees. 23 for most areas tomorrow, with smoky conditions continuing. Winnipeg in the southeast tonight, while a little bit of shower activity just winding down now, if it hasn't already, to the east of the city. Otherwise, it will be smoky for the most part. Smoky tomorrow, although mix of sun and cloud otherwise for Winnipeg. Most areas around 24. Good chance of showers or thunderstorm tonight in northwestern Ontario early, and then sunshine or a mix of sun and cloud with highs between 22 and 23. Now, if your name is Stephanie, the odds are you take stunning photos. Here's evidence of 2 photos. This one is from Stephanie here in Winnipeg at the south end of the city, looking out onto the Red River near Maple Grove Provincial Park. Now, take a good look at this photo. The sky lights up overhead, and then you can see that rain pouring out of the cloud over the water there. That is from Stephanie out at Rainbow Beach Provincial Park. Send us your pics. Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. Many online shoppers fill their virtual carts, check out with the click of a button, and receive their goods at their door without any issue. But if you do buy something that's been tampered with, it can be difficult to try and get your money back. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
So I was completely shocked. I didn't know what to do.
Victoria Schell of Maple says her hobby is photography, and she recently wanted to upgrade to a more advanced camera lens. She found one online at Canon Canada's website. The lens was part of a damaged box sale and was selling for just over $2,500. When the shipment arrived, she was shocked when she opened it up.
The box was supposed to contain a Canon EF 24-70 millimeter lens, and instead there was a box of Bostitch staples.
Schell contacted Canon to say what happened and sent them photos of what she received.
The lens was inspected in the facility, so by the time it left the facility, everything was intact.
Schell says while the outside box was sealed, the box for the camera lens had been opened.
There is no safety seal.
The box of staples was the same weight as what the camera lens would be. Following an investigation, Schell was told she would not be getting a refund.
I'm completely heartbroken. I'm really upset.
2 years ago, we did a similar story with the Madkin family of Brampton. They ordered a laptop and received 2 books instead.
Did you need this book? I don't need that.
Did you need 2 of them?
No, I don't need either. So someone have opened the box and they put the books with the same weight. Looks like a MacBook.
With CTV's help, the family got a refund. CTV News also reached out to Canon Canada, and a spokesperson said the package did match the weight that would be expected for the lens model purchased. However, it appears the package may have been tampered with after departing our facility. We are currently in the process of issuing a refund to the customer for the cost of the lens. That was great news for Schell. She has now received her refund and plans to buy a new lens in person at a camera store.
Thank you so much, CTV News. Thank you so much, Pat Foran. Thank you guys for taking my case. I truly appreciate it. You guys are amazing.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Still ahead, have you been tested for hepatitis C?
So we advocate everyone born between those years to get out and get tested.
Turns out there is one age group at a much higher risk than others. We will explain next in Medical Watch. Economic uncertainty is leading to some major market dips for real estate. Century 21's annual price per square foot survey reveals Canada's biggest cities are seeing some of the biggest drops. Joining me now to break down the findings from our province is Max Backman with Century 21. Max, good to speak with you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
First, maybe give us an idea of just, how prices here in Manitoba are holding up.
Well, here in Manitoba, it gives me great joy to say that we have more of an insulated market. Most typically, when you're looking at the graphs year in, year out, you're seeing a fairly steady climb. No huge peaks, no huge valleys as far as Manitoba's average home price per home, or in this case, we're looking at price per square foot. So the trend continues. Here you see in Manitoba that we're steadily rising. And if we're looking at our statistics, going up 8% from 2024 to 2025.
One of the real standouts when it comes to statistics in this survey is condo prices in Brandon. They saw the biggest jump across the country at 22%. Can you give us some insight into what may be driving that?
Absolutely. Well, I think that smaller cities, rural communities are kind of catching up to what you're seeing in larger cities across Canada. And you'll also find that demographically, maybe people are making that downsize or that shift from the larger family home to something that's a little bit more affordable and makes a little bit more sense from an age perspective. And you're seeing that in Brandon clearly.
Well, speaking of affordability, as you mentioned, this survey looks at prices that go back as far as 2018. And while they have steadily climbed here, how much more affordable is it to buy a home here in Manitoba compared to, say, Toronto or Vancouver?
Well, that's great that you should ask that question, because obviously looking at the price per square foot figures, we see the biggest decreases in price per square foot in Toronto and larger city centers. That doesn't mean that they're by any stretch of the imagination going towards the bottom of the group. They were always at the very top as far as being expensive, and now you're seeing here in Winnipeg, the affordability is because of our jobs that we have available here, that sort of feeling of safety and a great place to raise a family. So looking at that, it still is very affordable, but also an amazing community to be calling home.
On that note, a lot of these dips in the market are because of the, economic uncertainty you were speaking of. Seeing as we are a little bit more insulated, are we expecting to see prices climb even higher this year and next?
Well, ultimately, Winnipeg has a very seasonal market. You'll see every year, depending on where your average price per square foot is, that you have a very busy spring, and then it somewhat slows down into the winter and then picks up into the fall. I assume that with the current way that the interest rates are right now, we'll be continuing to see prices rise in homes, but not like a ski jump like you're seeing in those big cities. It'll be more expectable and something that you can predict a lot easier.
Yeah, I heard an analogy. We're the tortoise in this race.
Yeah, well,
nothing wrong with that.
That's right. You know the old story. Exactly.
Max, thanks so much for the insight into the survey. Great speaking with you.
Again, my pleasure. Have a wonderful evening.
A Manitoba researcher says our province has the highest rate of hepatitis C in the country, and it shows no sign of slowing down.
It's a virus that infects the liver, and over time, whether that's years or decades, it can cause considerable damage, and the end results can sometimes be life-threatening.
That's Dr. Kelly Kaita, who heads up the Viral Hepatitis Investigative Unit at the University of Manitoba. He says there was a dramatic drop in the number of infections between 2018 and 2020, but cases climbed again starting in 2021. That year, Manitoba recorded about 42 cases per 100,000 people, the most in Canada. And he says the timing suggests the rise is linked to the opioid crisis.
If you adventure out and you do unprofessional tattoos, body piercing, that's a significant risk factor. Blood transfusions prior to 1990. But I think what is most important is for people to understand that if you're in the age group born between 1945 and 1975, you're 5 times more likely to have been exposed to the hepatitis C virus. So we advocate everyone born between those years to get out and get tested. One single blood test.
The doctor notes symptoms can take years to appear, so many people won't know they need treatment unless they get tested. If you're worried about getting Alzheimer's disease, you may want to start getting your steps in. A new study suggests walking daily can reduce the risk of cognitive decline, especially among people with a genetic predisposition for Alzheimer's. Nearly 3,000 people between the ages of 70 and 79 reported their daily walking habits over a 10-year period. Those who maintained or increased their walking habits over the years showed greater improvements in processing speed and executive function. More research is needed to understand why. The study has not yet been peer-reviewed or published in a professional journal, but it will be presented tomorrow at the annual Alzheimer's Association International Conference.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
Anticipation is building for the city's largest ethno-cultural celebration of the year. Folklorama officially kicked off this weekend, and we will take you there next in Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Led Zepp again, the premier tribute.
It was sure hot on Saturday, but the heat didn't stop a big audience from helping to kick off Folklorama. Let's try that again. Folklorama held its annual kickoff Saturday at the Lyric Theatre at Assiniboine Park. It was the only chance for the audience to see the ambassadors from all 43 pavilions in one place. The evening featured ethno-cultural performance as well as a market, children's area, food trucks as well. Folklorama's executive director described the unique value of the event to Winnipeg.
It's really like having 43 different festivals all over the city. It's something that's really, really unique to Winnipeg. We're truly part of the fabric of the community.
The festival started out in 1973 with just 21 pavilions. This year, it is featuring 43 pavilions all over Winnipeg. Folklorama runs from Sunday, August 3rd through Saturday, August 16th. Attendees are recommended to check the festival's travel guide on the website. That's folklorama.ca for schedules and locations. A first for Rainbow Stage. Its next show has sold out a performance before the first one has even opened. The actors are putting the finishing touches on Disney's Frozen. It's set to open August 7th and has already sold out the Sunday matinee on August 10th. It's the first time that's ever happened at Rainbow Stage, and the company says tickets for the other shows are selling fast. Disney's Frozen runs from August 7th through the 24th. Meanwhile, Dawson's Ukrainian community is getting ready to showcase their culture, traditions, and food.
It started in 1965, right? 60 years ago, and it's growing strong.
Canada's National Ukrainian Festival returns once more to Silo, Ukraine for 3 days of dancing, culture, pierogies and borscht, of course. The event features 5 grandstand shows, a cultural village, agricultural demonstrations, a talent competition, and music. The special guests this year are Canada's national riding and dancing Cossacks. Over the years, the event has grown from just 150 to 7,000 visitors from all over the world.
It's not just Winnipeg and beyond. We actually have patrons joining us from Australia this year. We're very excited to have them, but it just brings the whole community together.
Organizers say hotels are sold out, but there's still some camping spots available. You can find a complete schedule and tickets online at cnuf.ca. Your primetime lineup kicks off at 7 with American Ninja Warrior, followed by Match Game, and E-Talk wraps up the night at 10:30, all right here on CTV.
I still have absolutely no idea who it is.
Someone out there thinks Steve Peters is a poor angler, and they're letting everyone know in a very public way, but he's making the most out of the publicity. That story still ahead.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, the smoke has returned, but the temperature got up to 24 degrees. The normal high for this time of year is still around 26. Tonight we dropped to 14, partly cloudy sky conditions, but that will be mitigated by the smoke, as it will again tomorrow. Otherwise, a mix of sun and cloud, 24. Quick look at the long-range forecast. Lots of sunshine, some nice temperatures that get warmer day by day, peaking at 28 on Friday, merrily 27 to start the weekend Saturday.
Thanks, Colleen. Well, if you've been driving around the Morden and Winkler area, you may have noticed some signs calling out someone named Bubba for their poor angling skills. The witty signs are all a little different, but one thing stays the same. Nearly all say Bubba sucks at fishing. Bubba, whose real name is Steve Peters, says the sign started popping up a year ago, and he still has no idea who was behind it.
There's a long list of possible suspects, but I haven't been able to pinpoint it yet. The fun part about it is not knowing who it is. I think that kind of adds the mystery to the whole thing.
Buddy is taking it all in stride and has even turned it into a good cause. He's been using the publicity to sell Bubba Sucks at Fishing t-shirts, raising money through social media to buy fishing gear for kids. So far, he's raised enough to buy rods and tackle for 8 children. Wow. But the real question is, Colleen, does Bubba actually suck at fishing? Well, he tells us he's not as bad as those signs would lead you to believe.
I love how he has a long list of potential suspects.
Yes.
What's going on, Bubba?
Yeah, why, Bubba? But buy a shirt, because I do think this campaign is fun, and it is raising money for a good cause. All right, that does it for us tonight. Have a good one.